What's up, everybody? So is this the end for Max Blessed Holloway? Does the Blessed train stop at UFC 300? Is that its last station? In this video, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover this entire topic. And I just want to first mention that the reaction's kind of mixed, right? I would say it's probably 70-30, 70% of people thinking that this is a horrible fight and 30% of people excited and think that this is a good fight. And I'm about 50-50. I'll say I'm 60-40 thinking that it's going to be a good fight, and then that 40% is I'm scared. And the reason for that is, guys, I mentioned in my first breakdown, which I'll link down in the description when this news was announced, that I really believe, obviously Justin Gaethje is very dangerous. And the concern is Max Holloway's always been a guy that's taken, some damage over the years and all of those different things. But from where Max Holloway is at in his career, right? I know everyone's like, well, he was next in line for another title shot and this and that. First of all, we don't know that, right? That depends upon Ilia Topuria beating Volkanovski. Does Max care to fight for the featherweight strap anymore? Everyone's like, well, Max, he could be the champion again. Does Max want to be the champion again? The guy's been around. He's been in the sport for so many years. He's made a lot of money. He's doing other things now, the gaming. He's got a family. How much longer does Max actually want to do this? How much money was he offered for the BMF title fight? Like, nobody's talking about those types of things. So let's get that out of the way. Now, in the X's and O's of the matchup, it's very easy to sit there and just say, well, Justin Gaethje's going to destroy him. And is there the possibility that that happens? You bet your ass that that's very possible that happens, because Justin Gaethje, he's one of the most dangerous guys we have ever seen inside the UFC, especially in the lightweight division. And he's coming off that head kick KO of Dustin Poirier, where the fight was competitive up until that. And I keep saying, everyone's like, well, but Gaethje knocked out Poirier. It's like, no one ever expected Justin Gaethje to throw a damn head kick. Justin Gaethje's never even thrown a kick to the body. All he's known for, in terms of the leg kicks is beating up your legs. He's not known for throwing kicks to the body or head kicks. Like, we're seeing Gaethje evolve. But we've also seen Max Holloway evolve, right? We've seen that Max Holloway is okay taking a backward step, circling off, and people are like, well, that's exactly what's going to get Max Holloway in some trouble, is Justin Gaethje's more technical. And it's like, well, so's Max Holloway. If the old Max Holloway that was just marching forward, standing in the pocket like he did years ago, that Max Holloway stands not an ounce of a chance against Justin Gaethje, in my opinion. But since these guys are a lot more tactical, since Max Holloway has a lot better movement in terms of laterally circling out, being okay with kind of moving backwards a little bit, kind of stinging, with the jab and setting things up and moving, I think that it's a little bit more competitive than what people are making it seem, right? And of course, Justin Gaethje is going to be the favorite, and he should be the favorite because he's the true 55er. He's the guy with the power. He's the highlight. He's gotten a bonus in every single fight he's had since he's been in the UFC. But guys are really, I feel like people are overreacting to this. And the reason for that being, everyone said, oh, well, Max just fought the Korean Zombie and the Korean Zombie landed shots on Max Holloway. It's like, do you guys know anything about fighting? A fight is people are going to get hit. I don't know what false reality you're living in. Like, not everyone is 6'5" like Israel Adesanya fighting guys that are 5'5" and keeping them on the outside and just sticking their hands out and throwing a jab and leg kicking the whole time. Like, a normal fight is guys are going to get in the phone booth. They're going to move. Someone's going to be moving forward. Someone's going to be moving backward, and shots are going to be landed. Like, people get hit. This is fighting. So, I don't understand why people are like, oh my God, Max gets hit. It's like, Justin Gaethje gets hit too. Like, this is fighting, guys. Like, people get hit. Are there fighters that are slicker than the other? Sure there are. But if we look at the way that Max Holloway fought against Arnold Allen, there's a lot of positive things that I've seen, and I understand, guys. Justin Gaethje is bigger. He is more powerful. I completely understand the concern, and I'm not saying that this is a great matchup for Max Holloway. It's a bad matchup. But to sit there and say that, this is the end of Max Holloway, and this is, if this goes 5 rounds and he takes an absolute beating the whole time, well, of course. And is that possible? Yes, it's possible. But I really believe that the evolution that we've seen in the game of Max Holloway, his ability to throw kicks to the body. And people are like crapping on Max for evolving his style and becoming more patient and becoming, more willing to sit at range and move around. It's like, well, you guys can't have it both ways, because you guys are the ones saying like, oh, well, Max, he's really outgunned here. And it's like, well, yeah, if Max Holloway fought the way he used to back in the Frankie Edgar days, and, where he's pointing down at the canvas and against Lamas and then Aldo, he gets smoked by Justin Gaethje. But because he's changed his style, he has a very good team around him, and he's adapted to being a lot better with his movement and not standing in the pocket so long. I really think that Max has a better shot than what people are giving him. I'm not saying that Max is going to win this fight. I just don't think it's fair to say, oh, everyone give up, lay down. This is not a good matchup because Justin Gaethje's just here to wreck him. And it's like, I don't think so. I think that Gaethje does land some good shots because that Gaethje hurts everyone he fights. But we also have seen Max Holloway improve. We've seen Max Holloway KO the Korean Zombie. And I know I'm not comparing Zombie to Gaethje, but Zombie was also being reckless, and he's one of the harder 145, one of the hardest hitting 45ers out there. There's the McGregor line, because Max has fought Dustin Poirier at 155, and everyone's saying, well, he got hurt in that matchup. Yes, because Max also was pressuring forward, and he was standing in the pocket too long and not moving his head and not, being okay with taking a backward step, where Max also, he hurt Dustin a little bit. And I know that there is a power advantage on the side of Justin Gaethje. Yes, Justin Gaethje's leg kicks might be a problem, but everyone's going to say, well, Volkanovski pieced up Max Holloway, and so Justin Gaethje's just going to do the same. And it's like, okay, well, that's a fair point, but also Justin Gaethje and Volkanovski are two different style of fighters. Volkanovski's very okay with sitting on the outside, moving backwards, which is very unusual for a guy who's shorter than everyone he fights. He likes to sit on the outside, feint, kind of move around, a lot like Israel Adesanya, that hit and not get hit, where Justin Gaethje, yes, he does have power, but he's not setting up a ton of feints. It's a lot of, head movement, kind of entering the pocket, moving forward, throwing those shifting combinations, which is a little bit of concern because that's how Dustin was hurting Max Holloway. But I do believe that Holloway, he has a very good team around him. He has a great team around him. I believe that people are also saying, oh, well, he's a 45er going up to 155 and he's not making the right move. He's not committed to 155. How do you know that? Since he fought Korean Zombie, how did you know that this wasn't the plan, that he was eventually going to want to move up to 155? How do we know that that wasn't the plan? Did the UFC have a conversation with him saying, hey, listen, man, the landscape of the featherweight division, like he didn't get the matchup with Ilia Topuria, what's Max want? Does anyone ever consider what Max Holloway maybe wants? Maybe Max doesn't want to make a run at 45 anymore. Maybe he does. I don't know. But we haven't heard from Max say what he wants to do moving forward. And I know that he has some miles on him, right? We've seen Max be in a lot of dogfights, a lot of wars, but everyone throwing in the towel right away, saying that Justin Gaethje is just going to dominate this dude. Like, of course you have a point. And going off of what we've seen from the small sample size that we have of Max Holloway going up to 55 against Dustin Poirier, we saw Poirier hurt him. But we also saw Max hurt Dustin. And I believe that Max has gotten a lot better since the last time we saw him at 155 in terms of his fighting style. Now, I will say this. If we get a Max Holloway that gets tagged and just decides to sit down and throw and slug this out with Gaethje, he does not win this fight. But if Max Holloway kind of scoots around the outside and plays the distance game and plays kind of what he did against Arnold Allen, and again, I know Arnold Allen is not Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is one of the most dangerous fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. I'm completely aware of that. I just don't think it's fair. The point of the video is I don't think it's fair to just throw in the towel and say Max has no chance. That's crazy. Max Holloway, of course, has a chance. Is it super likely that he wins this fight? I would say no. Of course I would lean towards Justin Gaethje because of everything that we know about Gaethje, how dangerous he is, how powerful he is. He's also very technical. But we know Gaethje is hittable. We know Justin Gaethje is hittable. So it's not like Max Holloway's not going to be able to land some stuff on him. It's just a question of, well, what happens if Gaethje lands, and when he starts beating up that leg, what happens? So there's all those things to factor in. But my point is Max Holloway's style evolving, becoming more mobile, being okay throwing some body kicks, being okay to do these different types of things. I believe that this makes this a little bit more interesting than what people are giving it credit for. Now, I give you, if this was the Max Holloway from when he was on that title run at 145, dude, and he decides to do what he did against Dustin Poirier when he went up to 55, Justin Gaethje wrecks him. There's no doubt about it. But Max Holloway's not going to come into this matchup looking to do that. Everyone's like, oh, BMF gimmick belt's on the line. It's a stupid belt and this and that. And it's like, okay, well, you can feel how you want about it. I mean, it's really just basically signaling like we got two big names that are two fun, exciting fighters and they're going to fight each other. That's really what it is. Now, I would hope that Max Holloway, if he has the opportunity, where he stings Gaethje, maybe he goes for a submission because Max does have good submissions. He's not a guy that's going out there chasing the grappling. And I know Gaethje has pretty good takedown defense per se, depending on who he's matched up against. But Max does have an opportunity. He does have a chance. It's not like, oh my God, this is the end of Max Holloway. No, if it goes 5 rounds and he decides to stand in the phone booth or he decides to stand in the pocket and recklessly exchange with Gaethje, well then obviously I don't think it's going to go very well for Holloway. But if Max is cautious, he's okay with moving on the outside, being very, very elusive in this matchup, he has a shot. I'm not saying that he wins. I'm saying he has a shot because everyone's saying he doesn't. But I'm saying he does because Max Holloway and his team, they're smarter than that, guys. They're smarter than that. If Max Holloway went in there and brawled with Arnold Allen, I don't think it would have went too well for Max Holloway. If he just sits in there and brawls in the pocket with people, it doesn't go very well. Do you think Justin Gaethje is faster than Alexander Volkanovski? I don't think so. Does he have more power? Absolutely he has more power. But Gaethje does have pretty good speed, but Alexander Volkanovski's quicker. His striking style is different. So we can't, because people are going to say, well, Max Holloway, he got pieced up by Volkanovski. And it's like, okay, but these are different style of fighters. Justin Gaethje likes to move forward a little bit more. There is going to be a little bit of a size advantage on the side of Justin Gaethje. But until we hear from Max Holloway, we don't know if this was the plan. We don't know if Max Holloway has been preparing to go up to 155. We haven't seen a lot of social media from Max Holloway over the past several months since that Korean Zombie fight. And we did see that if Max is backed up against the fence and he decides to let a haymaker loose, it's got some pop on it. So this is a little bit of a different Max Holloway than what we've seen back in the day. But I understand everybody's concerns. They're all valid points. I'm just trying to say that I don't think it's fair for people to be like, this is the end of Holloway. Like, if he goes out there, takes an absurd amount of damage, like, yeah, that's not good. But if Max Holloway's not coming into this fight to be like, I'm going to stand toe-to-toe and we're going to slug it out and point at the canvas and me and Justin Gaethje are going to do that. Max Holloway knows he will get wrecked if he does that. They have been prepared. I'm not saying they've been preparing for a matchup like this, but Max's style that we've seen is more relying on movement, which he did not do back in the day, which he's doing a lot more of now, which I believe better suits him for a move up to 155. Does he get the job done? Yet to be seen. I would still favor Justin Gaethje, but guys, stop this talk of this is the funeral or this is the end of Max Holloway. We don't know what Max Holloway's plans are moving forward. He may say, F it, this is UFC 300, this is my last fight. I've been in the fight game a long time. I got a family. I made all this money. I'm getting paid well for this fight. And he may say, the hell with it. I've had my shots at 45. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the case, but who knows? I want to hear what you all think. Like this video. Comment your opinion below, how you see this matchup playing out. Subscribe to the channel. Help your boy out. I appreciate you all. See you next time.